Hello. I want to tell you today about Susan, not her real name. She became an AIDS orphan along with her sister, when she was a small child. She and her sister were taken to an orphanage, and when Susan reached secondary school age, she was put in boarding school run by nuns. One of the nuns there found that she'd got real potential and secured sponsorship for her to go to university, where she studied pharmacy. She applied for a job at MMH to be the pharmacy in charge, but failed to get the position. Susan applied for the job in a mission hospital because she wanted to pay back all the kindness that she had received when she was growing up. She impressed the interview team so much that a job was created for her to counsel teenagers with HIV on their medications. That was with UK donor funding to fund that job. Half of the money Susan earned she sent to her sister, who's married to an unemployed man, and they have 4 children. When Susan was employed, she was harassed by her supervisor, who spread nasty rumours about her when she did not give in to his sexual advances. She supported another member of staff when she actually complained about this particular supervisor, and then after he was dismissed, she was able to support a lot of the staff in the team to recover. She became a blessing to others and has now become the manager of the comprehensive care clinic that looks after all the HIV patients and cancer patients. Hers is a story of such goodness, coming out of sorrow, distress, and difficulty. When we've gone through difficulties in life, it can sometimes be hard to move on. Today's reading is Zechariah chapter 8 and verses 20 to 23. Zechariah was a prophet in Israel about 500 years before the birth of Christ. At that time, what was left of Israel, about 50,000 people, returned to Jerusalem to build the temple. If we picture the situation, we can imagine that the walls, by now 2 years after they started, must be at least waist high, and they can see the structure beginning. When they'd returned to Israel, they were met by a foreign people practicing a number of different religions. They were met with hostility. They were judged and condemned by the Samaritans. They were mocked and ridiculed as people who'd lost everything. Imagine, they'd lost their homes, some of their family, they'd lost their city, they'd lost their identity as a people, as the temple was destroyed and the Ark of the Covenant was taken somewhere, nobody knows where. They were a people abandoned, forsaken by God. A people whose God had allowed them to go into exile, into slavery, forced captivity and servitude. Others joked about their God being too weak to take care of them, or too uncaring to liberate them. We have our challenging moments, a negative change in circumstances, a downward shift in our circumstances, instability, uncertainty, whether they're in our relationships, our finances, our work, our family, our emotions, or our physical health, or our spiritual soul. We live with ups and downs in life, and we can be going along just fine, and then wham, something hits us, and we're faced with a job loss, death, a disaster, a betrayal. Some are short term, but others can last months or even years. Maybe you've had a tragic circumstance in your life, or a faith crisis. You've felt as if you've let yourself down, or you've let others down, or you felt that you've left God down. But that was in the past, and now you're here. How do you move forward? Our job is to believe and have faith, and then act on that faith as if God has already answered our prayers. A new sense of joy is coming. Keep believing. Keep expecting. Keep honouring God, and God will change things.